Hi, good morning. Today is Thursday and it's another great day. I hope that you are doing well. I heard it might snow this weekend. I know it's so crazy, but stay warm, stay healthy. And today I want to remind you that the battle is the Lord's. That's something that actually King David said in when he was ready to fight Goliath. He said, people, I come against you in the name of the Lord, and the battle is the Lord's. So that's a very famous verse that King David said. But I feel like in Joshua, the book of Joshua, it doesn't actually say those words, the battle is the Lord's, but it does. If you read the whole book of Joshua, you will see that so many of his battles were clearly won by the Lord. And so in Joshua chapter 10, which is what we're going to read today, in Joshua chapter 10, verse 8, there's 5 different armies, the southern armies that now are coming against Joshua. In between Jericho and now, there's all these battles and fights. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. And now these 5 different armies from the south are coming all against Joshua at the one time. And so we know that their army is just not fit for that. So Joshua and his entire army, including his best warriors, left Gilgal and set out for Gibeon. Do not be afraid of them, the Lord said to Joshua, for I have given you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you. Joshua traveled all night from Gilgal and took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into a panic, and the Israelites slaughtered great numbers of them at Gibeon. Then the Israelites chased the enemy along the road to Beth Horon, killing them all along the way to Azekah and Makkedah. As the Amorites retreated down the road from Beth Horon, the Lord destroyed them with a terrible hailstorm from heaven that continued until they reached Azekah. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with the sword. On the day the Lord gave the Israelites victory over the Amorites, Joshua prayed to the Lord in front of all the people of Israel. He said, "Let the sun stand still over Gibeon and the moon over the valley of Aijalon." So the sun stood still and the moon stayed in place until the nation of Israel had defeated its enemies. It says the sun stayed in the middle of the sky and it did not set as on a normal day. There has never been a day like this one before or since when the Lord answered such a prayer. Surely the Lord fought for Israel that day. This is what I mean when I say that we want the favor of God. Joshua obviously had the favor of God. He was now the leader, the commander after Moses. And, I think the Israelites weren't sure if Joshua was going to be able to handle such a big task. And then when all these armies are coming against them, Joshua is a conqueror. There's so many battles in the book of Joshua, and he fought so many. He was really like an army general, and so Joshua knew that he could not. There is no way humanly possible that he could defeat those armies. So God said to him, "Don't worry, I'm going to be with you." And so he went before him and gave him hailstorms. They said that the hail killed more people than the Israelites were able to kill with swords, which is incredible. And then on top of that, Joshua's like, "Can you make the sun stand still for a day because I need more time to defeat the army?" And that's exactly what God did. And so it's kind of crazy, right? Something that first of all, I don't even know how Joshua would even think to ask for such a crazy prayer, such a super awesome, gigantic prayer. And then on top of that, when he did ask them, God did it. And not because God is, Santa Claus God that's standing there waiting to hear your request, but God already said to him, "Don't worry, I'm going to be with you. I'm going to help you in any way you can." And when Joshua, was leading the army, he says, I need help. This is what I need. And God did it for him. I think all of us, we have many battles to fight, and sometimes it's small battles, and so we think small battles we don't need to bother God with. We're only going to bother God with the big battles. But actually, every battle that we have is the Lord's. We have to just give that to him and have him fight on our behalf. No matter how strong, no matter how great your faith is, remember, your faith is it's not about the amount of faith, but it's the object of your faith. And when we have small faith or great faith in the object of Jesus Christ, who is supernatural, who is the same God who He is the same God who made the sun stand still. He is the same God that fought all the battles of Joshua. He is the same God that was with David when he defeated Goliath. He is the same God. And today, whatever battle you're facing, it could be a battle of your heart. It could be a battle of love or you know, distrust. It could be a battle with your children or your parents. It could be a battle of an addiction that you might have that you're fighting to try to stop. I don't know what your battles are, but God definitely does know, and He knows how to win over them. And so you just have to sometimes say, you know what, God, I don't know how I'm going to win this battle. I don't know how I'm going to get over it. But we just have to always just whisper to yourself, and you say, Lord, the battle is yours. The battle is the Lord's. The battle is the Lord's. And that way you won't feel so defeated and think that you cannot win. The victory is His. We know how it ends. And again, in 1 Timothy 6:2, it says, fight the good fight of faith. It doesn't say fight the good fight of all these enemies and attacks. It says fight the good fight of faith. All we have to do is fight for faith, and all the other battles will be fought by Him. I didn't even think to pray about the sun standing still. And so I'm going to ask the Lord today, Lord, give me a big prayer, a bigger prayer than just my own little battles, but even a big prayer that will help your people, that will somehow show once again your strength and your supernatural ability. Yeah, so read Joshua today, and I'm gonna continue this week with Joshua, but if you have any questions, just text me or email me, and have a great, victorious day in Him. Amen.